Well, hello, all my friends over the South. This is the Weekly Water Outlook, November 24th. I'm John Feldt. Well, actually, last week was a pretty quiet week. There was some precipitation, but you can see the number of rain days here over most of the region were fairly low in the 0 or 1 day in most areas, Arkansas a bit more. If we look at the amount of rain that fell, we see that the eastern parts of the state and then the western part actually fairly decent rainfall over the week, not necessarily heavy, but there was definitely a pocket of 2 inches or more over the eastern part of the state, and then some pockets in the west. Actually, that was in the form of snow. So we are getting some decent weekly recharge of upper soil moisture. Now, that started a while back over central and eastern Texas, and that is continuing. It'll be interesting to see if that continues, and I'm going to be showing you that that's a definite possibility. And for the most part, it's not like it's coming down in torrents in the more recent period. It's more moderate, but it does look like it's going to continue for a while. Now, if we look at the percent of normal precipitation over the last week, we see areas in blue and purple, that's above normal. We see areas in red. Look at Oklahoma. Most of Oklahoma is in red, and that's indicating below normal precipitation. I think about 80% of Oklahoma reported below normal precipitation last week. Now, if we look at the departure from normal of temperatures, a bit surprising because we're getting some of these weeks where we're starting out with well above normal temperatures and then ending up with below normal temperatures. So we averaged out with temperatures above normal for the week, but we definitely had some colder air push in as the week went on. Matter of fact, I talked about snow over the area. If we look at the far western part of Oklahoma, the Texas Panhandle, we do see some snow cover as of today. It's generally light for most of the area, but there is a little bit of that medium blue, and look at that. That's getting to be a little bit more significant precipitation, over 3 inches of snow over the Texas Panhandle and far western parts of Oklahoma, as well as western Kansas. Everywhere else, there's no snow on the ground. Now, if you want to see how much snow fell over the last week, you can look at it here. And most of the area is that maroon dot, and that would be 0 to 4 inches of snow. Now, we have a split jet stream pattern. I indicate it in white. We have a northerly jet stream. That northerly jet stream is associated with the colder air plunging south. The southerly jet stream is bringing in Pacific moisture, and I'll show you a satellite picture in just a moment here that shows that Pacific moisture. And when you get a wintertime split flow, it's very common for the southern plains to get messy precipitation of a mixed variety. And here's that satellite picture I talked about. If you trace some of this moisture, and this is a water vapor satellite picture, it is coming in from the Pacific at mid-levels, and that's providing the moisture to interact with the cold air and bring us a mix of precipitation. Now, by the end of the week, it does look like it's going to decrease the southerly jet. We have this dip in the northerly jet here, and each one of these dips here brings down a reinforcing blast of cold air. So it does look like they're sort of lined up one after another, bringing some cold air down, and we're on the southern extent, so we're not going to get necessarily the coldest air, but it does look like that will reinforce the cold air at below normal temperatures. Now, you know I talk about oscillations a lot because I focus on the medium and long range for water and precipitation. And this is the North Atlantic oscillation, and it's a little bit closer view of the Arctic oscillation. And for new listeners to my briefings, these are imbalances of atmospheric pressure. Generally, when they're positive above this line, that means that conditions are warmer over the U.S., and below this line, colder. And what we saw here is we were positive for quite some time. During that transition, we had our severe weather, and now it's generally negative, and that's allowing a little bit more type of variability in temperature and these continuing reinforcements of cooler air. Doesn't look necessarily extreme, and you can sort of see it's staying close to this line, so it's not like it's getting way down here in the negative. So that's going to limit the degree of the coldest air to some extent. Now, if we look at the precipitation forecast for the next 7 days, here's the outlook. We're going to have a low that develops out in the Gulf of Mexico and move northeast, and that's going to really enhance the rain over generally east of our area. On the other hand, we're going to be in the colder air as it sinks down to the south, and this band in here is going to be mixed, so it looks like eastern half of Texas mainly is get a mix of primarily rain, but also some mixed precipitation, and that's why there are some winter storm watches and winter storm warnings out, and that's going to extend a little bit further north into Oklahoma as well. Now, the total quantity of rainfall won't be as high as over to the east, but the potential impacts due to the freezing nature in some spots could be also pretty significant. Now, I wanted to look at week 2. I'll be following up on this. It does look like right now some of the longer term models, early December, are showing that it will continue active over the south, and that could continue our pattern of soil moisture recharge as we get into December. We're still in a situation that many areas still need soil moisture recharge, even though it has been more optimistic over the last 6 weeks or so, but we still can use it, and it does look like this week 2 could be pretty interesting over our area, and I will be following up on that because this could be a little bit heavier rain event during week 2, but that's out there. It's a ways to go. Now, if we look at soil moisture forecast changes, blues are where soil moisture is forecast to increase. Now, the light blue is just sort of a modest increase. So what we do see is most of Texas, all of Texas actually, is forecast to experience some degree of soil moistures getting a bit wetter. But really, this is very modest, this light blue. It really looks like just eastern Texas would be the area that would get the most significant increase in soil moisture. Oklahoma, most of the state, just slight decreases averaging over the week, except for the far west, slight increases. So more of a modest change, not a whole lot of change one way or the other over Oklahoma. I wanted to show you as we get into December 2nd through 8th, into early December, the pattern that I mentioned, and it does look like both temperatures will be cooler than normal, but look at this. We're sort of on the edge of that. The coldest core of below normal temperatures is over the northern plains, and we're getting close to either normal or just a bit below normal. And also the continued above normal chances for precipitation. So I really think that's the story as we get into the early part of December. So your takeaway is cold and messy this week, cold and messy next week, continued modest to more significant in a few spots soil moisture recharge. I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. If you ever have any questions, you know how to reach me, john@bluewateroutlook.com. We'll be updating the weekly Water Outlook again next week. Nice talking with you.